Bybi is a social enterprise that works to bring honeybees back to the city. We have 150 beehives that are on the rooftops all around Copenhagen, where they are looked after with help from homeless, asylum seekers and others on the edge of the work market. What we're looking to do in Bybi is to create an urban honey industry that can both create opportunities for people on the edge of the work market, but also bring people from Copenhagen in close contact with urban nature. There is both an environmental and a social element to it. And actually our project is inspired by bees themselves and the way they work. I think you can see honeybees as a creature that is productive in the way that it enriches the environment, makes it more productive, more beautiful, more diverse. It is good for the environment at the same time as being very, very active. And that's something that we human beings need to learn. We need to learn how to produce in a way that is environmentally sustainable, but also socially sustainable. I think one of the problems around social businesses and around business in general actually is that you're often asked to split the social and the environmental and the economic, for that matter, into three quite separate camps. In reality, they're two sides of the same thing. I think the social and environmental problems that we're facing, they fit together. We can't solve one without also solving the other. And I think what our advanced Western societies are crying out for are industries that can improve the environment instead of destroy it, and industries that can create decent, respectable identities, jobs and work for the people who are increasingly falling out at the bottom of the capitalist system. There's two things that are important in Bybi. The first is this idea of an industry, the second is the idea of partnerships. But to take it back to the kind of overall need, you can see that honeybees are threatened. They need the help of people to survive. You can say that there are people in cities like Copenhagen who need something to do, who need jobs and employment. There are people living, 1.5 million residents in Copenhagen who are thirsty for ways to engage positively with the environment, to do something for their local communities, and haven't really got a way to do it. So what we want to do is to create this industry that can solve all three problems. We do that by working across sector and working with partners from both business and social projects. I'll give you an example. We have the Bella Center, which is Europe's biggest conference centre just down the road. They pay us to put honeybees on the roof. We borrow some homeless people from the municipality here at Sundholm who give us our rooms for free. We take the homeless people to the roof of the Bella Center where we train them to look after the bees, and they're involved in processing the honey. We remove the honey back to our factory here at Sundholm where it is extracted and put in glasses, and then we sell the honey back to the Bella Center afterwards. And with that, you can just about make a business that is sustainable. We can finance the social work for our assistant beekeepers, and pay for a professional beekeeper who will make sure that the whole project is running smoothly. That's a deal we've made with 25 businesses this year, and that we are now hopefully rolling out to even more.
So your earned income comes from the businesses that house these beehives?
That's how it started off. We get about 50% of our income last year from selling honey products, about 40% from businesses who pay a CSR contract with us. That contract involves a number of events that we do with our staff. It involves a media and communications partnership. It involves a number of our products that they get for free as a result of the partnership. But it also involves, of course, a financial transaction that supports some of our running costs. What we found is that demand for the honey has increased, our production has increased, and of course now we have enough honey that we're selling to wholesalers, to supermarkets, to other customers, not just the businesses. So we've used the businesses as a kind of launching pad to increase our volumes enough to be able to become sustainable in our own right.
Tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea. How did you see the opportunity, the need for it, and on the other hand, how did you decide to do Bybi specifically?
I got the idea after the climate conference in 2009, and then I was very inspired by a book called Sustainability Without Growth, Prosperity Without Growth, sorry, which was looking at how a future economy might look in the face of environmental and social crisis that is facing our kind of Western economies. And it was very clear that what we need, anybody who is active in the work market or about to be right now needs to really think about this. We need industries that on the one hand don't destroy the environment but improve it, and industries that provide meaningful roles and jobs for people, that can give people a role in a happier and productive society without undermining the resource base. And that's a really difficult challenge to meet because basically our entire economy is steaming in the opposite direction as fast as you can say iPad. I was thinking about this as I was on my way to a Christmas party when I cycled past some beehives in a little patch of rough land near my house. And then I got really curious about what they were and how it worked. I contacted the beekeeper and realised that there was an opportunity here to do just what I was thinking about. When I was thinking about organisational forms, I actually started by thinking about transparency. I knew that the most important thing in the model that I wanted was partnerships, that I needed to get goodwill and the businesses on board, that I needed to involve municipalities, and that I needed something that would make it possible to involve funds, other groups that might be interested in paying for things. And that restricts the number of options to various not-for-profit or cooperative forms. But in the end, the decision wasn't really about which specific organisational form was the best, but which was the easiest. And that's, I think, something that you need to think about when you're starting a business, is that you can use weeks wrangling over a legal form about which one it should be and which one it shouldn't be, and it's inevitably going to be the wrong one. We had to just make a lot of changes to our constitution a couple of years down the line because you can't predict exactly where you're going to go and what you're going to need, and you can waste a lot of money and a lot of time on it. In the end, it's just about getting started. So choose something, do it, and when it doesn't work, which it won't, change it. But stick with the principle of transparency.